Yo, what is up, guys? This is Jumpin here, and today I'm going to be using the N7 Fury again. I thought, why not use the Fury again? I only have one video with it, and this is one of my favorite new N7 Earth DLC people, so I was like, hey, we need to use this, why not? Anyway, so today I'm going to be using the Talon. I know, it's the Talon 9, guys. We got really lucky with this gun. But in this gameplay, I'm going to be using extended barrel with extended magazine. I know I had the piercing on there, but you could use the piercing. She doesn't really need to shoot that often. If you don't have armor piercing ammo, use the piercing because, yeah, you won't shoot too much. Alright, now for the setup, this is a lot different from my first video with her. Alright, for the first thing is, I like the impact radius, guys. I really do. This actually does extend the field of the annihilation field, so this really will help. The closer you get to the enemies, you don't have to get as close when you have that. I also really do like damage taken. This makes her explosions really strong, and yeah, it's she's amazing because of that. Alright, and then finally drain. Drain is very important because against Cerberus or Geth, you really will mess them up, and she's so flimsy that with this, against those two factions, yeah, you just can constantly drain shields and stay alive longer. Now, I know some people might troll me for this, but I really do not like Dark Channel, guys. I just don't like it. I don't know why. And I just took it out the build altogether because I find myself never using it when I even had it. Alright, so now for throw. I definitely like radius, guys. A lot of people were confused in my first video. They thought that I said that radius will improve your explosion. No, it doesn't improve the explosion power, but what it does improve the explosion, because here's your example. If you're fighting a group of enemies and there's two of them and they're really close together and your annihilation field hits one of them, but then you throw the other one that you didn't hit, the radius on the throw will detonate the first one, exploding both of them. That's the reason why radius is good. It's because you can just throw and detonate things close to something set up. Alright, now for detonate, this is important. This will make your explosion a lot stronger. And then finally, force and damage. This also improves your explosion quite a bit, so keep that in mind. Alright, now for the N7 Fury, I'm going to be using weapons damage on the first one, but I would also recommend damage and capacity. It just depends on the gun you decide to use. With the Talon 9, I have a really good recharge speed, but if I didn't have the Talon 9, I would probably go for damage and capacity. It's up to you guys. And then power damage, this is pretty obvious, just to improve her explosions and all that good stuff. And then finally, weapons damage, just so that my Talon is really strong. For fitness, yeah, all shield, guys. I recommend in the first video maybe some melee damage, but no, all shields. She's too flimsy. Now for the equipment I'm going to be using, armor piercing 3. There's no point to use like armor piercing 4. I'm not going to be shooting that much. Pistol rear lamp 3, commando 5, and then cyclonic 4. This is actually really important. She's so flimsy that she needs as much shields as possible, and with drain, she can become somewhat tanky if you can constantly keep draining enemy shields. But even with Cyclonic 4, she still is extremely flimsy. Alright, so now let's get into the gameplay. Today it's going to be, once again, Firebase White, Reaper's Gold. So I'm sorry about that, guys. I know my last video was the same thing. It just kind of happened like that. I really had no control over it. But anyway, yeah, the Fury. Fury is one of my favorite new Earth DLC people in the game. It really is. My two would be the Paladin and the Fury. I also said before I really like the Destroyer. I still like the Destroyer right here. I'm just like chilling for a second. But I really do like the Destroyer, but that would be like my third favorite one. I really, I don't know, I really like the Shadow too, so I'm not a big fan of the Destroyer anymore. I'm not a big fan of it anymore. Like I said, I was originally. I don't know what happened. I don't know. It's not that fun to me. The Destroyer is just not that fun anymore. Where the Fury is normally a lot of fun, the Paladin is a lot of fun, and the Shadow is actually a lot of fun. So my question of this video to you guys is, what is your favorite new N7 Earth DLC character in the game? So I'm interested to know that, because like I said, mine would be Probably the Paladin would be number 1, and then the Fury would be number 2. And maybe the Shadow number 3, and maybe the Destroyer number 4. I don't know. It just depends on the mood I'm in. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Alright, as you can tell, my style of play with this person, I love the Fury for an adapt because she is everything that I always, well, she's just perfect for my play style. I like to play aggressive, up in the enemy's face, blow them up, all that kind of good stuff. So with her, that's exactly the way you have to play. Dark Channel is good, guys. It is a good power, but I just don't like it. I don't find myself ever using it when I had it. That's my first problem. And the other thing is to say, it's just, I don't know. I just think it's kind of slow. It's just like, it's the same as like doing something like a warp and a throw with like a human sentinel or an Asari adapt. It's the same kind of combination. It's just a kind of slow explosion for yourself. This, with Annihilation Field, this is extremely quick explosions, non-stop. Non-stop explosions, and you just wreck all the enemies around you. And you're a walking bomb, which is freaking awesome. So that's the thing about the Fury. She's so cool. And this is the way I like to play with her. And as you can tell, I can come down to this room and just clear out the whole room by myself. I don't need any help from any teammate with this combination. That's another great thing about her. You really don't need an adapt team to use her properly. As long as you just play with some randoms, or you're just playing, or you just decide, hey, I'm gonna run around with the Fury, you can do extremely well, and you don't need any help, and it's amazing. And this talent's not that bad either for her. Like I said, you know, I have the Talon 9, guys. I know that most of you guys will not have the Talon 9, but if you don't, just go for damage and capacity. Her recharge speed is not that big of a deal. Throw has such a quick recharge speed. As long as you have it at like 1 second, 1.5 seconds at the very least, you're good. Right here, I'm going to rocket that group and just keep rolling around and trying to find some enemies to kill. So, I don't know, guys. So, like I said, I still really like the Earth DLC, but I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I really want some comments about this. Yeah. I need some ideas, honestly. I'm just kind of going blank when it comes down to like just things to do in the game that, you know, some of you guys might want to see. I've been having this problem for quite a while, to be honest, where I can't think of stuff to do sometimes. And like last night, I was just like trying to figure out what I wanted to do for some videos. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't think of anything. I didn't know if you guys want to see maybe some snipers or you know what, maybe some more Paladin, because I love the Paladin. It's just what it is. So maybe another Demolisher video. I just really don't know. So it's really up to you guys. So leave a comment. Tell me what do you want to see from me for Mass Effect, because I've done so much with this game that I'm starting to go blank a little bit, and I don't want to go blank because I still enjoy this game so much, and I know a lot of you guys still do. But and that's just the thing. Like I'm just running out of ideas. So I mean, I could definitely benefit from some help, maybe. So go ahead and leave me a comment. Tell me some stuff you would maybe want to see from me, and I will definitely consider doing it. All right. Anyway, let me go back to the Fury. The Fury is amazing. Now, I would totally use her on Platinum, although she's so freaking flimsy. I know that it would definitely be extremely difficult to use the Fury on Platinum and stay alive. Now, she could definitely work really well for Platinum. I mean, just look at this. Like, this just wrecks gold like it's nothing. Like, she's amazing on gold. If something is amazing on gold, people, it's probably going to be pretty good for Platinum. Always keep that in mind. Like, that's just how this game consistently pretty much works. So, that's just the thing. Now, I mean, I don't know, though. Like, I just feel that if I do a gameplay with her on Platinum, I'm just going to die like crazy. So, but I'll definitely try it. I definitely would do that if you guys want to see something like that. I mean, I just really don't know. And that's really my biggest dilemma right now. You know, of course, I can still continue my Fun with Guns series, my Q&A series. You Built It. I'm about to actually bring out the next You Built It here pretty soon. So I can do all that. It's just like when it comes down to just, you know, normal, just random videos about random stuff, that's where I'm having an issue. because I only want to bring out videos like you built it like once every like 2 weeks maybe, and or once every week at the minimum, and then like you have fun with guns, that's every week pretty much, all that kind of stuff. So that's like it's just a dilemma for me. But all right, anyway. But yeah, I mean, okay. Now in the first video with the Fury, I used I fought against Reapers, and I said that yeah, she's really good, but against Reapers, she does have some issues, and yeah, she still has those issues. The first issue is that Reapers really don't have any enemies with shields, and because of that, you're really not going to drain many shields from the enemies, and that is definitely an issue. I mean, it can screw you somewhat because you can't drain shields. I mean, against like Cerberus, I think Cerberus is the best thing to fight with her, just because like you really do just annihilate Cerberus with her. But like that's just because you can constantly drain all their shields, and the only thing that's somewhat hard to hit with the throw is the phantoms, and that's it. Now Geth, now she also does really well against Geth, but the problem with Geth is that they also can pose a lot of problems because they can just wreck you up close. The pyros can wreck you up close. And right here, oh man, I'm gonna get dropped. But I don't even know what the hell happened. But anyway, the pyros can wreck you. The hunters can wreck you. Primes can wreck you. There's so much stuff against Geth that can just wreck you. It definitely poses a big time problem with the Fury. So, like I said, I think Cerberus is the best faction to really fight. I just really don't know. I just think, I mean, she's good against every single faction, but she's just so freaking flimsy. I mean, look at that. Like, and against Reapers, there's so many problems that you face with things like brutes. That when you get in close to them, they'll wreck you. Like they'll just mess you up, and because of that, that definitely poses a huge problem for her. I mean, it's just what it is. So, all right. So I believe this is gonna be wave 6, and we're gonna get objects, which I'm not gonna do because I don't want to. So I'm gonna go ahead and find me some enemies to kill. Anyway, but I mean, this is a great example. Like just look at this. Like, just there's so many enemies in this room, and because of the explosions, like they're just all going to get just annihilated, so quickly. And now, you know, if the explosion doesn't kill them normally, like you know what will? Her annihilation field can kill. Also, in the first video I didn't talk about this much, but yeah, she can go through walls. I don't really do it much. I don't really find too. It can be somewhat useful to navigate the map really quickly, but I just don't really do it too much. And against Reapers, I talked about this before, because her dodge has a delay on it. It can be a little bit tricky to try to get away from a brute. It really can be. Like that's the thing. Like if a brute's about to charge you, and you try to like dodge away from it, because there's like a 1-second delay there, yeah, it's gonna definitely pose some problems for you. It really will, and that's just the thing. So try to keep that in mind. It's really hard to dodge brutes with her dodge, but I mean the coolest thing that she can do, though, honestly, is just the fact that she can it's just the fact that she can go through walls. I mean, it can be extremely useful if you use it that way. Like on this map's actually one of the more cooler maps to actually go through the walls, because there's a lot of walls you can go through. Now right there is a good example of the radius I was talking about. I hit the Marauder with the Annihilation Field, but because he was in 2 meters of the Ravager, because he was so close to the Ravager, I was able to just simply throw the Ravager, and the radius from the throw was able to hit him and detonate the explosion, which is like the thing. Like it makes it so much better for just hitting the enemies. Like radius is just a big part of this game. I hope you guys really know that by now. A lot of the best stuff is radius, and one of the things I really love about her is never be afraid of swarmers. I mean, never be afraid of swarmers when you're fighting with her, because yeah, they'll all die. Like if you just run close to those swarmers, they just get annihilated. No joke. Alright, so that was the end of wave 6. Now, another thing, guys, when you play with her, make sure that every wave you turn off your annihilation field and you turn it right back on, That's very important. You don't want it. You don't want it to ever randomly just cut off, like in the middle of trying to fight something. That's like can be the worst thing that can ever happen to you because you're not going to drain any shields. You're not going to, and then you're not going to do any explosions. So it definitely can just be a big issue for you if you don't have that annihilation field on. So the best thing to do is just try to turn it on at the beginning of every wave and hope that it doesn't go off in the wave, which it might. So, and it's just really hard to pay attention to when it's actually on or off. The only way you can really tell is from the black aura around you and not the actual glowing effect. The glowing effect you would think would be an easy way to tell, but it's actually really not, because when it goes off, when it goes off, there's about 10 seconds of it being off before it actually stops glowing. That's the thing that really sucks, is that, I mean, it's like 10 seconds long of her glowing. The only difference the only animation you don't see actually is going to be the black aura. You won't see the black aura when it's off. Yeah, you won't see it when it's off, but you will be glowing blue. And then after like 10 seconds, it actually becomes it just, you stop glowing and you totally know it's off. But I don't know, it can be very confusing. So just try to watch out for that. As you can tell, like, it's just really, really easy to just run around and just annihilate the enemies and just kill them all so quick. I mean, the Fury is one of the best slayers in the game now. Like, alright, so right here, like, it finally went off, and because of that, you know, I just now, I mean, I didn't even notice right there. And that could cost you if you were in a giant group of enemies trying, you know, relying on your explosion. So you just really got to pay attention to it. You just got to remember, like, Annihilation Field is a power, not a buff. Like, that's just the best way to really put it. Alright. So right here, I ran down here to block the spawn, because I knew that if I blocked that spawn, I could actually force them to spawn on the landing pad. That's pretty much the way this map works for if you want to rocket the waves. Is that either they're going to spawn in that bottom room, or they're going to spawn in the back area, and then they might spawn in that middle center room. And if they don't spawn there, then they're probably going to spawn on the landing pad. That's just the way the spawns work. So when you're trying to rocket, if you sit up top and like you let your teammate run down low, rocket the bottom, you can run to the middle room and either rocket the middle room, or if you are in the middle room, they will be forced to spawn at the landing pad, and then you can just run back up the stairs and then go and rocket the landing pad. So it just makes it, I mean, speedrunning this map, I think most people know that this is a pretty good speedrun map, but I mean, we weren't trying to speedrun. Like we never really try. We just, well, we like to be able to try to beat it somewhat fast, but just not to actually like just intentionally just speedrun the crap out of it. There's no real point. Like, well, at least I just don't care. Like, it doesn't really matter to me. All right, so anyway, like I said, so the Fury is definitely like one of my favorite new ones, just because I really love Annihilation Field. I just love the idea of the way that she was built to be close range adept, where all the other ones, I mean, the only other one that's somewhat close range is the X-Cerberus guy, but like I think the Vanguard is better if you're gonna use X-Cerberus. Just why not use the Vanguard over the adept? It's like the same thing. Right here, I'm gonna get just pooped on because that's what normally happens. One cool thing about her, if you couldn't tell right there, is that when I got up, I had full shields. The reason why I had full shields was because, oh, I'm getting pinned in right here. But the reason why I had full shields was because even though I was down, my Annihilation Field was still actually working. That's the craziest part. Is that, yeah, the Annihilation Field actually works when you're on the ground. And if an enemy that killed you is really weak and is standing like over your dead body, yeah, it will die. But if you have enemies with shields around you while you're down, by the time that you get up, you're going to have like pretty much full shields. It's really cool. So try to keep that in mind. It's actually pretty amazing that she's able to do that. Anyway, so, I mean, but like I said, overall, she's definitely one of my favorite, maybe my second favorite, but, and I mean, I don't know, it's weird because, like, the Paladin, I actually hated on him at first. Now he's, like, my favorite one to play as, just because I really love Snap Freeze. I love beating people down with the shield. I love Energy Drain. The Paladin is just amazing, and the Fury is amazing. Where I thought the Destroyer was definitely going to be my favorite one, but I don't know, the thing that makes me not like him as much is just, I don't know. The thing that makes me just not like him so much is pretty much right here is gonna be a good example. Like boom, right through the wall. If that's when it comes really in handy. Like just being able to go through the wall like that, and get away from like pretty much dying. I would have definitely died right there if it wasn't for that. But yeah, like I said, I think the Destroyer was originally my favorite, but then like I just don't like the fact that he's so freaking slow. I hate that, honestly. Like because he's so slow, it's really really difficult to stay alive with him, even though he's somewhat tanky. Like although he's tanky, he's just freaking slow, and that really poses a big time problem for him. Um, I mean, like this is pretty much the worst situation she can ever be in, fighting multiple brutes because yeah, like because you got to stay so close for the annihilation field, you can definitely easily be wrecked by them. It's just what it is. All right, but I'm just gonna go ahead and try to kill as many of these enemies now that it's over with. Um, Actually, there's gonna be like around the end of this video, I'm actually gonna do some pretty cool dodging. Just I don't know. I finally decided I was gonna start doing it on purpose and. As the rest of the, I always see that's one thing too, guys. I actually do normally forget that she can dodge through walls. It's just something that always happens with me when I play with her, and then like eventually I'll remember. I'm like, wait a minute, I could just dodge through this wall right here and go down there right now instead of running all the way around. I mean, it's cool. It's a cool thing that she can do. The downside is that no one else can do it besides the Slayer, and I never play with the Slayer, so I always forget that they can do it in general. So that's definitely an issue. Alright, so this is going to be the extraction wave coming up, and I think that this wave, it's going to be pretty epic, like, because I'm going to fight some of these enemies down here and show you, and then I'm going to go, like, all super duper cool dodge moves on these guys, give them my jukes, you know, like, but yeah, I mean, that's just really the best way to play with her, is just, like, get an explosion in, and then dodge the fuck away from, like, these brutes, otherwise, you know, you're going to definitely have some problems. And always run around the map if you have to. Ravagers are just so easy to kill with her. And it's better to fight something like these Ravagers than like two brutes. It's just what it is. And of course, yeah, no, Banshees can also pose a problem if you play as a Fury. Just because Banshees, if you don't have that option for Dark Channel like I don't anymore, which I would never probably go for again, just because I don't know. I just never find myself using it when I had it, so I just don't see a point to even have it on. If there's ever a power in this game, guys, that if I like a good example is a tactical scan. Every time I've ever had tactical scan on my build, I just never use it. Even when I have it there, I forget about it or I just don't use it. And because of that, there's no real point to put it on the build. It's same with like a power like Incinerate. If you had Incinerate on your build, but you never used it, then there's no point to have it there. That's one of my biggest beasts with like a good example is the Slayering Engineer. I never use Decoy. I have never ever used Decoy like for real. And even when I had it on my build for Slayering Engineer, I found myself never ever using it. And that's just what it is. So there's no point for me to have it on my build if I'm not going to use it. So try to keep that in mind. My playstyle might be a little bit different than yours. So if that's the case, then yeah, you know, I build my builds for me. Like that's the thing. And then I show you my builds, but they're designed for my playstyle primarily. So that's something you guys got to keep in mind. Alright, so that's going to be pretty much it though. I really hope you enjoyed it. Once again, you can check out the website. We've had some problems today with the website, but hopefully it will be fixed soon. And yeah, so that's going to be in the description. And of course, please like this video, guys. It will definitely help me out a lot if you like the video. Yeah, it's going to be pretty much it. So you guys have a nice day.